We're going to start with how do I fit and adjust this thing, and we're going to work here with the 150 Newton life jacket. Similar principle if you're using either of the other two models that are available. First of all, how do I take it to site? The life jacket should be transported in a safe compartment inside your vehicle, so ideally inside a hard shell plastic box or in some form of bag, not just thrown in the back with the tools. We don't want it free in the cabin with the passengers and the drivers, so where it can get trod on, sat on, move around in the event of an accident, catch and automatically fire. The thing needs to be secured and safe inside the vehicle, protected from damage from the tools as you travel around. You will have done your pre-use inspection, which I'll take you through a little bit further on in this video, before you use your life jacket, but we're now ready to put the thing on and start work. We do this in a safe area, and typically this is going to be at least 3 meters back from the water's edge, but could be much further back. Effectively, we are putting the equipment on in a place where we can't possibly end up in the watercourse. We need to adjust our clothing to whatever is appropriate for the task requirements and the ambient weather conditions, and then the last thing that's going to go on is the life jacket. So I pick up my life jacket and you'll see it'll either have one strap or two straps coming down the back from the neck to the waist belt, and it's simply a question of hanging it on one arm, a bit like putting a coat on. You then reach around for the other side and then put your arm down the other side. Now in the winter when you've got lots of layers on, or if you're getting a bit older and you're not as supple as you used to be, it's very easy to roll the life jacket as you put it on and end up with this kind of hourglass effect. So once the thing's on you, just have a feel and a check to make sure there are no twists in it. It should then be relatively simple to find the buckle and connect the buckle at the front. Most life jackets in the Environment Agency have this plastic rucksack type buckle, but you may have a two-part metal buckle here instead, in which case what you have is a life jacket that's fitted with a deck harness. If you have a life jacket that's fitted with a deck harness, such as this one here, it's really important that we understand the limitations of using this attachment point. This is designed as work restraint to prevent you from falling or getting washed off the deck of a boat. It's not designed for fall arrest, where you can fall off the edge of a boat and end up hanging in it. So you need to be far enough back from the edge and on a tight enough lanyard that you physically cannot get to the edge of the boat, or indeed to the edge of the riverbank or the weir if you're using them in that setting. You should not be able to end up hanging, and you certainly should not be able to end up in the water if you're clipped into this attachment point. So this is not a safe system of work for clipping to a steel cable and working on the face of a weir or something like that. You need to go to a different system. So there's not many of them in the Environment Agency, but there are a few around. Once you've adjusted your buckle up, it's time to adjust this waist belt. Now on the Crew Saver life jacket, that's a two-part process on the side here. The second buckle, the plastic one, will have the tail of the adjustment coming through it. You may need to feed some through to make it larger, or more typically, if you've been dieting, you will need to take it in to make it smaller. Because it's fiddly to do, it's easy to omit that and not do it properly. It's very important that you adjust the tension on this torso belt up so it's nice and snug against your body. You should just about be able to get a fist behind it. The position of the buckle and the webbing wants to be up on your ribs, with this as close to your sternum as you can get it. If your life jacket has crutch straps fitted to it, and we would highly recommend that if it doesn't, you get some and put them on, then the crutch straps will come between your knees and clip back to little buckles on either side. And again, you just adjust those up to take the slack out of them. You're now ready to go to work. What we don't want to do now is put anything over the top of the life jacket. So we're not going to put a coat on, we're not going to pick up a survey bag and hang it off our shoulder, or put a rucksack on. Neither are we going to go inside a vehicle or operate plant from a cab. And if you're working afloat, you need to be very cautious if you're going below decks into a cuddy or indeed further into a vessel. we shouldn't really have anything over the outside of this life jacket. It should be free to the air at all times, for the obvious reason that if it wants to deploy, it needs to be able to deploy.